Hello, everyone. Whoa, this mic makes me sound great. So my name is Kimetha Dunn, and today we're going to specifically talk about AI agents. We hear it a lot. I am a researcher by trade. I am not a coder. And so with that, in creating AI agents, I'm going to give you two different demonstrations of how you can create these AI agents and these automated systems without knowing how to code. So we're going to learn how to define our purpose, our audience, our personality. We'll also talk about clear instructions with AI, how you can use your GPTs of the world to effectively communicate to create these agents. We'll also have a demo. Good news is I pre-recorded it, so hopefully we won't have any tech issues. And then lastly, how we can share this, how we can test this and demonstrate it personally as well as within our organizations. So with that, a little bit about me. So my name is Kimetha, pronounced Kimetha. I have done a lot of things. I'm a founder of the Fadila Group. We're an organization that helps enterprises or enterprise with teaching their individual contributors how to utilize AI, but also how organizations can utilize AI effectively with strategic planning. With the Fadila Group, we also work with older adults and younger kids with utilizing ChatGPT to literally save the world and their problems within their community. And this is just a picture of a lot of things that I've done. Recently, I spoke at the NVIDIA conference. Absolutely amazing. It really was a Super Bowl of tech, if you will. I've been to Davos, Switzerland to speak about robotics. I love Star Trek, so I put that in there. And I also like HGTV. I do not watch reality TV. I just don't think it makes us smart, but no shade. So that's a little bit about me so you can know who I am. And then when we getting right into agents, there's a couple of things that you want to define or determine before the agent is even created. The first thing is the job. What type of job do you want your agent to do? Do you want your agent to be an advisor? Do you want it to be a strategist? In some instances, it may be good to have an agent as an antagonist. You guys know those people who look at the window and see the spots on the window? Those are also the people that can find problems and mitigate issues that we have. So why not have an agent that does that as well? You also want to determine your audience. Now, my audience is primarily non-technical, which means they're smart, but they might not necessarily have an actual technical acumen. So maybe they don't know how to code, or they use ChatGPT regularly for some things, but they're not very good at prompting, things like that. With your GPT or with your agent, you want to make sure that you are very specific and you are aware of the audience that you're dealing with. Is it a startup? Are they entrepreneurs? Is there certain words or verbiage? Say you're a lawyer. There's certain ways that you speak that matter when you're dealing with your audience. And then personality. We talked about that antagonist. It's really important that you give your technology a mood, whether it's kind, whether it's direct, whether it's a thoughtful advisor. You don't want it to agree with you on everything, but you want it to be able to communicate effectively. And then I had to put this out here because, again, I am speaking on a very low technical level. So with that, you have your different platforms. Like you can create a custom GPT and then utilize code in the back, right? That's technically, by definition, an agent. We're also going to demonstrate a technology that we use where we can automate those things that are not with the GPT. But some things that you want to consider once you really start getting deep into the agent world is the different framework that you're going to use. So I'll give you a quick example. One of the frameworks is the Auto GPT, right? And this is where you have things that are automated. It's more so like a do this, ask a question, get a result. But then you may have one that's multi-turn, where there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. Depending on the type of function your agent's going to do, you want to look at this framework comparison to get an idea of the framework that you want to use. And this is going to help you determine your platform. When you really get deep into it, whether you want to use AWS or Copilot or whatever the case may be. Now, with your prompts, because I'm a GPT, all of them, I like them all. Perplexity, you name it, I like them. So you want to define your role. We talked about that earlier, what your agent is. You want to define your tone. Are you kind? Are you nice? Is this more of an advisory tone? Is it more so of a managerial or a C-suite tone that absolutely matters? Is it a venture capitalist tone? What does that mean, right? Those things matter when you want your GPT to communicate effectively. Also, what is the process that it is following? Maybe there's a process that's already preset and there's a documentation that you can upload. Maybe you're creating a process. Maybe you want it to come in a documented form, paragraph form. Those processes matter. And then your output, which is what it delivers. Is it a one-pager? Is it a PowerPoint? Is it a Gamma.app, which is what I'm using right now? Because although, I'm a Microsoftie, I worked at Microsoft for almost 4 years, I like to utilize other technologies so I don't get stuck in my bubble, in my Microsoft bubble, right? And then boundaries. It is so important that you communicate with your agent and the technology what you don't want it to do. So for example, technology, I don't want you to hallucinate and make up things if you don't know a response. Or technology, I do want you to provide the resources and links so I can trust but verify the information that you're providing for me. And here's a big one. Technology, don't be vulgar or derogatory and things like that. If you don't tell the technology this, it's just gonna start giving you biases and just things that you may not want. So you wanna be very specific with that. So with that, with the 20 minutes that we have today, and with the 24/7 availability that our agent and or custom GPT will give us, and the fact that we're not doing any coding today, I'm going to give you a demonstration of the agent in GPT that I created, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself to you guys.
Hi, I'm Kim, your strategy sensei. I'm not just here to give you ideas. I take real tasks off your hands and get them done. Whether you're growing your consulting business, launching a course, or pitching enterprise clients, I help you move fast and show up like a pro. Here's what I actually do. I write website copy, pricing pages, pitch decks, emails, you name it, you copy, you paste, you're ready to go. I package your services. I map out your offers, name your packages, set your pricing, and make it all client ready. I handle your docs, NDAs, proposals, and one-pagers.
Now, for the sake of time, this is Kim. This is the custom GPT that I created, gave her a personality, and of course, I love technology, as I mentioned before. So I utilized ChatGPT to create the image, and then I went to another technology. I have it all at the end, so you guys will have a copy of the deck to actually give the image a voice. I like accents, clearly, even though I don't have one. I created the image and everything, so you have that there. So with that, let me just for the sake of time, go on to the next slide. You guys bear with me for a moment. All right, so basically you were introduced to Kim. And this is our strategy sensei. So you can go to GPT, the GPT store right now, look up the strategy sensei. And what you see to the left of you, I have a video as well, but for the sake of time, I won't play it. But it's a demonstration of how you can customize your GPT. So we have the name, which is Strategy Sensei, an AI business coach. We have the description and the instructions, which are really important. So you have it here. I'm going to read it really quickly, but this is the meat and the potatoes of how your technology is going to respond and act. So you want to be as specific as possible when you're using prompts and things like that. So here, this is an AI-powered business strategy coach designed to guide small businesses owners to think through high-impact decision-making, utilizing AI. So how many of us are at a company and they're like, you need AI, we need AI, but no one knows where to start, what to do, what to buy, why it's important, things like that. This GPT will help you do that. Now, just quickly, one of the things that I really like is you also get to create conversation starters. So say that someone doesn't know where to start. Well, there's 5 questions that I implemented and embedded within the technology. So when you go on there, your agent can actually do things for you, and we can eliminate what's called a white paper syndrome when you kind of look at it and you don't know where to start. Any college students been there before? Any adults been there before? Things like help me create a one-page strategy. on my new business. That's a good one, right? Things to kind of get your mind moving. Now, this is what makes us an agent. Now, I know this is generic for all of my tech folks. Don't shoot the messenger. But for everyone else, what makes this an agent within your custom GPT is this area right here. You see where it says code interpreter and data analysis? When you click this button, it allows the GPT to run code in the background. So when you're telling it to create something, create a lesson plan, whatever the case may be, it will be able to communicate and do that for you because you're giving it instructions, you're telling it where to go, you want it to use the internet, you want it to use a certain platform. When you communicate that in this particular area, it will allow the technology to effectively become an agent and do things for you. So you no longer have to go and write your lesson plan, or, that's a bad example, but you guys know what I mean. So with that, this is a video. Again, you guys will have a copy. And for the sake of time, I cannot play it, but I will play this, and you guys just kick me out when it's time to go. But the second thing that I did with creating the custom GPT that click a button, it becomes an agent because there's code in the background, I also wanted to be true to the agent automated phenomenon that we're dealing with now. And I also wanted to use a technology called Zapier. And basically what this does is it automates specific tasks for you. If you are an entrepreneur, a founder like myself, or someone who maybe is an individual contributor and you really want to make an impact in your smaller business, this is what it can help you with. So with that, I am going to play the demonstration. This will almost conclude our time until they kick me out. But real quick, take your phones out and take a picture of this. This is how you can get in touch with me via LinkedIn. This is the Fadila Group, my organization that I founded. Yes, this is a plug, but go and check it out. I think you're gonna like it. And then lastly, these are the technologies that I use today. So to make that picture actually speak, that was visionstory.ai. So I wanted to make sure you guys have that. So with that, I'll leave you with the demonstration of how I created an agent using Zapier. I will be here to talk to you if you have any questions. And if I don't get an opportunity, because I'm looking at the time, it's so nice to see your faces. And thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. So with that, let me play this demo. That was me yesterday. Hello, everyone. My name is Kimetha, and I'm recording this demo for you with the hopes that it will run smoothly. So, without further ado, here we go. I have two screens, so give me a moment while I share my screen. This is not me. This is the internet. So, I pre-recorded it because I just knew. All right, let me try one more time. All right, let's see. Hello, everyone. My name is Kimetha Zapier, which is and what we're going to be doing is we will be using Zapier, which is a platform that you can use to create an AI agent without using code. So this platform can be used for automating agents, things like that. And we are on the website. We're going to go ahead and create. There's a lot of different options that you can create here. We're going to do a Zap. And what I love about this is it has a co-pilot feature, and basically that gives us the opportunity to ask our GPTs of the world to help us with the prompt, which I did prior. So I'm going to copy and paste that point, that in here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm asking the technology to automate a daily workflow that collects news articles from an RSS feed, and it summarizes it using a chat GPT. I wanted to do it each day around 9 o'clock. And it's basically just going to look through posts and fetch data so that it can send daily feeds. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to change this to Google because it'll just be easier to do. So since we have this information and we've provided our prompt, we are going to get started. And what's happening is on this end, you can manually do this as well, where you can select an event. I'll show you what it looks like in a moment. But again, I really like technology and the ease of it all. So what happens on the end, or what happened over here in our Copilot, is I added my prompt. It kind of read the prompt and it provided 4 pathways, if you will, to be able to create this agent. Everything looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to add those over to our platform. And then I also really like that it gives these green checks so you can kind of check any errors throughout the process before you finish everything. So now that we have this, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to schedule when our email will go out. And so you can do it this way, but what I'm going to do is I want to customize it. So I'm going to go up here to setup. You can also, I want to show you guys, you can change this too. So you can do this with Facebook. You can do this with Instagram. They have a lot of different apps that you can go through as well. They have their products that are very specific to the platform. And then, of course, there's specific built-in tools that you can apply for as well. But for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to keep it as simple as possible so that it works. Okay. So we're going to schedule everything with Zapier. And then we're going to do this every day, but I want to customize how frequent everything is going. So I have this customization here. I'm going to click next, and then we are going to do ours daily. We're going to do it in 3 intervals. And then we're going to start it with the date. And then once we do that, we're going to change it to the time of day that we want, 9 o'clock. And then for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to change it with the goal of hopefully we can see that it's working. So fingers crossed, guys. 15 minutes is a long time. All right, let's see. Also, one of the limitations is you do have some limitations when it comes to like time and some customizations. That's the limits that you get without knowing how to code, but it's not that big of a deal for the most part. So I'm going to go ahead and continue here. And then it gives you the option to test. So this is what I was referring to earlier, where you can make sure things are working as you iterate through your processes. So now that we have this here, they found my record. That looks good. We're going to continue with the record that is selected. And now it takes us to the second part. Now you can do a lot of different options. Again, as I mentioned before, you also have options on the side over here. I'm going to do the RSS feed that is provided by Zapier. And then here you will get an option to actually create things that you may want to do or maybe search specific events. We're going to create the different items that are in the feed. And then from there, it gives us these options of where we can go. So we are going to put Google on here. We gave it the title. It's going to give us a max of 10 records. Our item title, we're just going to say AI. And then we have our source URL. We're going to keep it there. And then regarding the content, you have options where you can add the content here and the Copilot can give you suggestions. These suggestions are not as helpful, but our content will be related to AI, so we'll kind of keep it simple. We will keep that. Now you can add authors' names, emails, different links, media URLs. If All right, everyone, I'll keep this going. I'm seeing that, oh, we have 5. Perfect. Never mind. Let me continue to play it because it's less than 5 minutes. All right. Different media types, all of those things. I'm going to keep that blank for now and continue. And then it shows us everything. So it shows us all of our empty fields as well, right? So we know that we may not get a lot of information, but again, this is for demonstration purposes. And then it also lets us know that our title and our descriptions, things like that are there. So we have this. Let's test and see if it works. And we got a green check. So I think we're good to go there. Yep, we did. All right. So we will go to our next. And this is about analyzing and returning the data. So it asked me for the prompt. I'm literally copy and pasting the prompt that I used prior in the beginning of this demonstration. And then it's also asking for different outputs. And then the Copilot to the left, if you get stuck, it kind of gives you some information that can help to let you kind of know where you are. And you can use that test option here too. So I'll click that just to make sure that I am doing everything correctly. And so far, so good. Let's see. So far, so good. So far, so good. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. All right, so it looks like everything is going okay. Yep, all right, so there's some information that I need to put in here. So we'll go back to setup. We're going to get an email. We're going to send the outbound email. You also have other options that you can put in here, but we're going to just send an outbound email. And we're going to send this email to me. We're going to say that it's Kim Daly's article. And then for the body, we'll just say, check out our news article. If there's any attachments, maybe there's a logo, any sort of identifiable information that you want to add, that information will go here. If you want them to reply or maybe CC to your mailing list, maybe you have a MailChimp or something like that, you have the ability to do that here, as well as CCing everyone, things like that. So we have that, and now. And so to conclude this wonderful, exciting video that you guys just that you just saw, basically what we did is we used Zapier to create a flow, if you will, for our agent. So what we did first was we said, okay, what we want to do is we want to create a newsletter about AI that'll give us at least 10 feeds, and we want that newsletter to go to our email. And once it goes to our email, we're able to vet it accordingly and then send it to our social media. Now, ideally, without an agent, you're doing that manually, you're doing it every day. Maybe you can do a calendar invite or something like that. But with an agent and with Zapier and what we created, every day at 9 o'clock now, I would get an email with at least or no more than 10 different links or modules or whatever you want to call them, specific to AI, that will come to my email. And this is a simple demonstration, a boring yet exciting demonstration of how you can create AI agents using Zapier, using your chat GPTs of the world without knowing how to code. I will say though, it's harder and easier when you know how to code, just because you have so many different things that you can customize. But for the people in the world that are like me, this is a fantastic, fantastic starting point. So thank you again so much for your time. Get some coffee. Have a great rest of your day.